There are days when all I truly want is to disappear, vanish into a quiet, dark corner and never come out. So tell me, what should I do? I am not going to sugarcoat this. What I am about to share is heavy. Britney Spears' journey has been anything but easy. Her life unraveled publicly. There was the infamous 2007 collapse, the court-imposed conservatorship that stripped her autonomy, the head-shaving incident that shocked the world, the stints in rehab, the canceled tours, and the long, painful silence that followed. But what if I told you that the chaos surrounding her VMA return, even the heartbreak of losing custody of her children, might not have been accidents at all? Imagine if it was all orchestrated, not just by her family, but by individuals with far greater power and influence. Individuals like Sean Diddy Combs. Yes, the same Diddy now entangled in a web of lawsuits, federal investigations, and serious sexual misconduct allegations. This is the same Diddy who Cassie has accused of emotional abuse, control, and manipulation. And now, Britney Spears' name is surfacing in his legal troubles, not as a footnote, but possibly as another victim. When you start connecting the dots, Britney's public downfall begins to look less like a personal crisis and more like a calculated takedown. Her loyal fans always sensed she was being puppeteered, but recent revelations suggest something far more sinister, something that could flip her entire story on its head, because it may not have just been her father pulling the strings. It seems there was an entire structure, an industry engine, and Diddy might have held a key role in it. So let's go back. Britney Spears didn't just fall apart, she was torn apart. And the unraveling may have started the night before her infamous 2007 MTV performance at one of Diddy's notorious parties. Rewind to September 8, 2007, the night before Britney's widely panned VMA comeback. She was spotted at Jet nightclub in Las Vegas, a pre-party hosted by Diddy and packed with high-profile guests. There are photos of her with Diddy and others. She is smiling, but there's a strange emptiness behind her sunglasses. Her vibe feels off, disconnected. Just hours later, Britney stepped onto the VMA stage to perform Gimme More. It was meant to mark her return, but instead the performance fell flat. She appeared confused, barely moved, and struggled to lip sync. Critics ripped her apart. Headlines declared her career finished. In an instant, it all came crashing down. But here's where it turns eerie. Why was Britney out partying with Diddy the night before such a major moment? And why did Cassie Ventura name-drop Britney during her recent court testimony? Cassie remembered Diddy bringing Britney to her 21st birthday celebration that same night at Pure nightclub in Vegas. He brought Dallas Austin, Britney Spears, she recalled. Those are the names that really stood out to me. Why would Diddy bring Britney, someone already under intense public pressure, to a wild, alcohol-fueled party just hours before a defining career performance? And here's another piece. The person managing both Diddy and Britney at the time? Lou M. Taylor. Lou Taylor was no ordinary business manager. She ran a powerful entertainment company now linked to suspicious financial activities, surveillance, and payments tied to Diddy's allegations. Her business address even shows up in legal documents related to Diddy's case. Most disturbingly, Lou Taylor is widely known as the mastermind behind Britney's 13-year conservatorship. During that time, Britney lost nearly everything: control of her finances, freedom to speak, even the right to drive. So it raises a chilling question. Was her VMA collapse really just an unfortunate moment, or the first step in a much bigger plan? Britney has since claimed that Lou Taylor's company, TriStar Sports and Entertainment, tried to kill her. "I will sue the Meathouse out of TriStar," she declared. "They got away with everything, and I will warn them every single day of my precious life." These are not just scandals, they are alarm bells, and they are begging to be heard. In her memoir, The Woman in Me, Britney reflected on that infamous 2007 VMA night and wrote simply, "I felt dizzy." But what caused that dizziness? Why had she not slept? What left her so visibly detached and out of sorts? And why, of all people, was Sean Diddy Combs now facing disturbing accusations from multiple women so closely tied to Britney that very weekend? This is where the story takes a shocking turn. That night with Diddy was more than just a celebrity gathering. It now seems like the opening act of one of pop culture's darkest conspiracies, with Britney Spears at the center of it all. The VMA performance was undeniably a train wreck, but here is what most people overlook. Within months of that weekend, Britney's life would spiral completely. She lost custody of her children, was placed under an involuntary psychiatric hold, and fell into a conservatorship so intense, she later testified it felt like being trafficked. Let that reality sink in. And throughout it all, two names remained. Constant: Lou Taylor and Robin Greenhill. Just 4 months after the VMA debacle, Britney was hospitalized in January 2008 under California's 5150 law, a legal order used when someone is deemed a danger to themselves or others. But here's the detail that raises eyebrows. The medical facility she was taken to was only 9 minutes from the offices of TriStar Sports and Entertainment Group, Lou Taylor's firm. Now get this, Diddy also had a business address located just 9 minutes away. Can we really chalk that up to coincidence, or does it suggest something far more deliberate? Some of Britney's fans are convinced that her night with Diddy was no random party. It was the opening move in a coordinated takedown, a strategy designed to portray her as unstable, paving the way for the legal trap that would strip her of control over her own life. Why target her? Because Britney represented money, independence, and autonomy. By removing those, what remained was a superstar worth hundreds of millions, yet legally silenced, unable to choose her own attorney. Lou Taylor and her associates reaped the benefits of Britney's fame for 13 years. And they were not the only ones turning her name into profit. There is another theory. There's a theory gaining traction lately, and it is nothing short of unsettling. What if Diddy possesses compromising footage of Britney from the night before her 2007 VMA performance? Now picture this. What if that footage eventually ended up in the hands of Lou Taylor? Sounds like the plot of a psychological thriller, but here's the thing. It might not be so far-fetched. Music industry insider Will Rod has publicly claimed that Diddy stores damaging videos of nearly every celebrity who has attended one of his infamous parties or so-called freak-off gatherings. Far-fetched? Maybe. But once you begin tracing the connections, examining who stood to benefit, how the timelines align, and where the money flowed, the idea starts to feel less like fiction and more like a carefully constructed reality. After that one night, Britney's reputation took a nosedive. Her career derailed. Her wealth vanished into other people's hands. Her autonomy was stripped away. Meanwhile, Lou Taylor, Robin Greenhill, and TriStar stepped in and took the reins of her entire life. And here's a detail many missed. Congressman Matt Gaetz was one of the only political voices who stood up and questioned the legality of Britney's conservatorship. He even attended a Free Britney rally in person. Gaetz argued that Britney deserved the right to speak directly to Congress, and he publicly criticized the judicial system for failing her. But not long after his support went public, he was suddenly swept up in sex trafficking allegations and accused of being If you listen closely to Britney's unreleased track Rebellion, the meaning now feels more urgent than ever. Back then, many assumed it was aimed at her record label. But in hindsight, fans believe she was warning us about Lou Taylor, about Diddy, and maybe even about her own inner circle. Remember 2007, when Britney shaved her head and swung an umbrella at a paparazzi van? The world mocked her. She was labeled unstable. But Britney later revealed that it was not a breakdown. It was a message. She said, "I have been looked at like an object and criticized for my body since I was a teenager. Shaving my head was my way of saying, I am not yours to control." Still, soon after that act of defiance, Britney was hospitalized, heavily medicated, and forced into a 13-year conservatorship. Who benefited? Lou Taylor, Robin Greenhill, Jamie Spears, and possibly even Diddy. When Cassie mentioned Britney in her court filings, fan reactions poured in, and they were heartbreaking. One person wrote, "Britney has been spiraling online lately. It is just sad." Others drew painful parallels. Just like Justin Bieber, pushed into fame too young, used, broken, and discarded. Another said, "I worry they're about to silence Britney. Too much truth is leaking out. Is she in danger? Could she be forced into witness protection? These are not fringe conspiracy theorists. These are longtime fans. People who watched Britney grow up, fall apart, and fight back. Dig deeper, and the connections become chilling. Robin Greenhill worked hand in hand with Lou Taylor. Lou managed both Britney and Diddy. Robin reportedly paid sex workers for Diddy's parties. She also allegedly shared private details about Britney and helped lock her into the conservatorship. According to Britney, she was coerced into staying quiet. That is not coincidence. That is a coordinated pattern of control. And no one has been louder about this than singer Jaguar Wright. She has openly accused Lou Taylor of using dark spiritual practices and labeled her a manipulator. Wright believes that Britney, Christina Aguilera, and other former Mickey Mouse Club stars were exploited by powerful men, Diddy and even Jeffrey Epstein among them. As for her take on Lou Taylor, Jaguar's words were blunt. She's a witch, and she should be held accountable for the destruction she brought into Britney Spears' life. Do I believe Britney was trafficked to Diddy? Absolutely, without a doubt. Jaguar Wright has been ringing this alarm for years. She says every one of those young women from the Mickey Mouse Club era, including Christina Aguilera, lived through trauma they barely recall. Why? Because they were drugged, handled, psychologically broken down to the point where their memories feel like bad dreams, not real events. But deep inside, they can feel it happened. According to Jaguar and other voices coming forward, this is the blueprint. Drug them. Control them. Condition them. It's not just theory. The disturbing details coming out of the Diddy lawsuit support this exact kind of abuse system. Hollywood, especially behind its glittering parties and billion-dollar brands, has long used trauma, mind games, and chemicals to control its child stars. And Britney's story? It fits every part of that system. Jaguar even compared Britney's life to the plot of Blink Twice, the Zoe Kravitz-directed thriller about a woman invited to a billionaire's island, only to realize she's been groomed, drugged, and targeted. Jaguar said that movie was not just entertainment. It was truth in plain sight. That's what all the baby oil was about, she added, alluding to disturbing behind-the-scenes practices. It sounds like a screenplay, but the chilling part is it is all real. In court, Britney revealed how she was forcibly drugged with lithium, a heavy-duty psychiatric medication. I felt drunk. I could not even speak to my mom or dad. I had to sit in a chair for 10 hours a day. They monitored my every move, she said. Lithium in high doses causes confusion, slurred speech, memory loss, tremors. Does that sound familiar? That was exactly how she appeared at the VMAs, days before her conservatorship was locked in place. Was she drugged that night? Was it the beginning of her being broken down, even before the paperwork was filed? And did Diddy play a role in that? Initial moment of control? Now let's talk motive. Why would Lou Taylor, Robin Greenhill, or even Jamie Spears go to such extremes? The answer is simple. Money. Britney was a cash machine. Her Vegas residency alone pulled in millions each month. She generated revenue through endorsements, merchandise, streaming. She was one of the most profitable pop stars alive. Under her conservatorship, every single dollar went through her father and Lou Taylor's firm. Jamie Spears earned $16,000 a month as conservator, plus another $2,000 monthly for an office he barely used. Lou Taylor's company made millions annually from managing Britney's empire. She was footing the bill for everyone around her. As Britney herself said, "Everyone in my life profited from my pain." If she had regained her freedom, that entire financial structure would have collapsed, and so would the power of the people who held her captive. Even Simon Cowell, known for his brutal honesty, saw the writing on the wall after Britney's 2007 VMA performance. He later admitted she was clearly not ready. Her look, her song, her presence on stage, nothing felt right. She appeared unrehearsed and lost. If someone as cutthroat as Simon could recognize she was struggling, why did no one close to her step in? The truth is, they did notice. They just chose not to act. Fast forward to now. Diddy is buried under federal investigations and multiple explosive lawsuits. Cassie, one of his former partners, shockingly dropped Britney's name in her testimony. Meanwhile, Lou Taylor's management company, TriStar, is under fire for alleged surveillance operations and suspicious financial dealings. Robin Greenhill, who worked closely with both Britney and Taylor, is now named in court documents related to illegal employee payments. And rumors are swirling that Lou Taylor may have enlisted Diddy to sabotage Britney's career resurgence. Suddenly, the puzzle pieces are falling into place. People everywhere are connecting the dots, and what those connections reveal is disturbing. It suggests Britney Spears may have been exploited by her own team, and if what insiders and whistleblowers are saying is true, Diddy may have played a direct role in that exploitation. This is no longer just conspiracy chatter. Industry veterans are speaking out. Real names are being named. Enter Rodney Lil Rod Jones, a music producer with deep ties to Diddy's empire. In 2024, he filed a bombshell lawsuit outlining a network of abuse, manipulation, and surveillance. One alarming detail stood out. Lil Rod claimed he was ordered to recruit women for Diddy, sometimes filming them on video, with those recordings allegedly archived by Diddy's camp. And one of the individuals mentioned in those court filings? Robin Greenhill. Let that sink in. Robin, who allegedly facilitated women for Diddy, was simultaneously in charge of controlling Britney's conservatorship. If this is true, then she was operating on both fronts, managing a pop star under tight legal restrictions, while also being involved in the disturbing underworld that's now coming to light. The implications are chilling. Britney Spears was never just another pop icon under management. She became a target, and we cannot ignore the roles her own parents played in that. In her memoir, Britney revealed that it was her mother who first began meddling in her personal life, ending her first serious relationship. After that, her father stepped in and eventually took full control, dominating her existence for over 10 years. Perhaps the most heartbreaking line in her book is